Tesla continues its fight against coronavirus, Giga Nevada takes a hit due to the same, and I answer a question from you folks regarding car seats. This is Tesla Tidbits episode number 583 for March 30th, 2020. This show is sponsored by my supporter Richard. If you're in the market for a new Tesla, please consider using his referral code. Ask your salesperson to use code Richard174 or go direct to the web link ts.la/Richard174 and pick up a 1,000-mile supercharging credit for your new vehicle. We start this week off with the I was horribly wrong department. In the ongoing Tesla versus coronavirus saga, we're no longer talking about Tesla making vehicles at all, as all vehicle production in the US is now idled. Instead, we're talking about the switchover to making ventilators to assist drowning healthcare workers and coronavirus patients. A very trolly reporter in the New York area had challenged Elon to reopen Giga Buffalo to make ventilators. I posited publicly that this wouldn't happen, as the knowledge to do so was in California at SpaceX in Fremont. And then Elon made me look like a moron, tweeting, quote, Giga New York will reopen for ventilator production as soon as humanly possible. We will do anything in our power to help the citizens of New York, end quote. So much for my logic. I do see the logic in hosting it in New York, being that they're the hardest hit state in the US for the pandemic. But we're not done yet. As some had doubts as to Tesla ever making a ventilator, Medtronic CEO Omar Ishrak confirmed on CNBC that Tesla would indeed be making ventilators for them. And then, in the most amazing moment ever, Elon announced that any ventilator made or sourced by Tesla would be donated, not sold. Quote, we will give away all our ventilators whether we buy them or build them, end quote. Keeping folks working and in a paycheck while simultaneously saving lives by giving away their work. As I said when retweeting it, Elon truly is a credit to our species. Unfortunately, not all is good news, as we might expect. Per a Clean Technica article, it looks like Giga Nevada is not escaping unscathed. With no factories to supply at the moment, and therefore having no work to do, work cuts will be made in the coming weeks, and they're big. Story County Manager Austin Osborne said in a post on the county's website, quote, Tesla has informed us that the Gigafactory in Story County is reducing on-site staff by roughly 75% in the coming days, end quote. For its part, Tesla's partner at the factory, Panasonic, said it also is laying off workers at the factory ahead of a planned 14-day shutdown due to coronavirus concerns. Panasonic employs 3,500 folks, but they have not said how many will be laid off during the stoppage. My best to those affected, and hopefully y'all can get safely back to work soon. Our last story today comes courtesy of Jonathan Davies, at JAB Davies on Twitter, lobbing me a question using the Ask Tesla Tidbits hashtag. They ask, quote, could you talk about how to pick a car seat for the Tesla? We are having our first kid and need a car seat for the Model 3, end quote. First of all, Jonathan, congratulations on the new addition. We're in slightly different situations, as I've just added number 3, but I've got some advice for everyone here. First of all, I do have to caveat that I have an older Model S, so my seats may be a bit different than yours. But one thing I can unequivocally say is that down the road, the booster seat you use will need to be a bit specific. Even my car has enough bolstering in the rear seats that putting a standard booster seat in the back is too wide to fit correctly. In Model 3, where I did get to test some boosters for my middle child, this is true as well. Surprisingly, the solution is cheap. I purchased a $20 booster seat from Walmart that tapers at the back and fits beautifully. So you don't need anything extravagant, but it does need that taper. I say this as the lead-off because as parents, or soon-to-be parents, you're motivated to buy things that will last your child for a while in their life, and in this arena, you're likely going to want to look at one of those all-in-one convertible seats. In my limited experience, these seem to be all too wide to fit properly in the back when you get to booster age, so I wouldn't be too hung up on these. Getting back to newborn age now, we chose the Graco SnugRide SnugLock 30 car carrier for many reasons. First and foremost for us is that we have 2 other kiddos that needed to fit in the back with our newest, and one of those uses a booster seat, so we couldn't have anything that took up too much room. The SnugLock 30 was narrow enough that we fit everybody in the back row without issue. Other benefits here are that it came as part of a combo pack with a jogger stroller that allowed the carrier to just drop into the stroller so my wife could easily take our youngest along with her when she goes for a run. But in general, I'd look for anything that's reasonably narrow so that you can still put passengers in your rear row without issue when you have the car seat installed in the center. As your baby grows, again I put space at a premium, and I've settled on the Diano Radian 3RXT unless an updated model becomes available before my little one reaches that size. While I know I said not to necessarily rely on these convertible seats for the booster portion, I'm not. I'm specifically relying on this for the range between leaving the infant seat and reaching the booster seat. The Radian series is well known for being one of the narrowest available, boasting that you can fit 3 of them across most midsize vehicles if need be. Pretty impressive. One thing that I'd highly recommend, regardless of what seat you choose, is some sort of protection to go under the seat. My children constantly leak crumbs and general junk that I find in the crevices of the back seat. Putting down a protective seat cover under the seat will help make this cleanup easier and protect the actual seat until such time that no car seats are needed. While you may have delusions of grandeur that your kids will never, ever eat in the car, road trips happen that make this a bit unreasonable. I had these same delusions, and when they're shattered, you'll thank yourself for putting down the protection. I hope this helps you out, Jonathan, and I hope this helps out anyone else that may also be expecting a new little one soon. That'll do it for today's show and my voice. Thanks to all my patrons supporting the show at patreon.com/Tesla Tidbits. And as always, a special shout out to all the super patrons supporting the show at the $10 plus level. They're Ryan Scarborough, Lee Sweet, William Henry Crew III, Dorian Steve Guberman, Ralph and Cheryl Waterhouse, Megawatt Photovoltaic Development, Todd Sullivan, Mitch Long, Zordhack LED Canada, Morven Ogg, Raymond and Deborah Malkowitz, T Sportline, Vicky Kirk, Ricky Johnston, Nathan Garza, Ed Patterman, Sunil Joseph, and Joy Rodriguez. If you have feedback for me, the best way to be heard is to tweet at Tesla Tidbits and use the hashtag AskTeslaTidbits if you'd like your question to be considered for the show. Until next time, keep it charged and hit the road.